everyone, it's me, Sailor Neptune, Michelle here, and today I'm going to talk about, this one thing that comes up. Now, I talked about this before, and it's not bad. So, you got Toonmakers Sailor Moon, which gets talked about, but not as much as you think. This YouTube fairway, we probably talked about it as more times than anyone else. Now, first off, a lot of folks mistaken Toonmaker's Sailor Moon and call it Siobhan's Sailor Moon, believing that it was Siobhan Glee. But it wasn't. It was some business known as, Atlantic Renaissance Entertainment. I don't know. Would it be Comeback Glee? So anyway, um, they were the ones that, yes, they did work with Siobhan to do the Power Rangers or the Might Keepers, from Mighty Shifting to Wild Team with Disney. But they were the ones that wanted to get into Sailor Moon after they had shifted their mind on Sailor Moon early on. You see, they believed that Sailor Moon was only for girls, and they did not think that anyone besides them would watch it. And that was their first thought. Now they shifted their mind later on and wanted to get into it. So Toei at the time was working with Naoko Takiguchi, and they wanted to bring Sailor Moon to the English-speaking world. And this was in early between 93 and between 94 while, so keep in mind Sailor Moon was running at the time. But even though a lot of folks may have known what Sailor Moon was, no one really saw it. So anyway, Toonmakers they hired Toonmakers to do the work for them. And Toonmakers was going to do a show between a live drawing and live work. Now you can see how much that would worth a business to do a show that would be half live drawings and half live work. It would be worth a lot, and it was worth a lot. So after Toei gave them the deal, Toei eventually shifted their mind and told them it would be worth way too much for any one of the three of them to do the show. So the deal was then pulled, and then it was more cheaper to give the deal out to Deke for them to handle the first two followings. And we all know how that went. And at the end of the day, Pioneer would get the rights to the third and fourth followings. So Toonmakers, could only show out their Sailor Moon along with every other live drawing they've ever done to buyers who wanted to hire them to do their live drawing work for them. And a lot of folks out there know that the Saugin Tale was being close to Sailor Moon, and the only shifting of it would have been that instead of being in Dawnland, it would be set in the Wanted Reichs. And a lot of their borrowed names would be borrowed. Well, not the Dawnland as borrowed names, but borrowed names from other speeches that were that it. And Luna was a white cat. Queen Beryl was Queen Beryl, but Queen Beryl was after these stones that each world had, and would help her take over the world. I know Queen Beryl was after the Overdom Silverhurst, and in every offshoot of Sailor Moon, but in Toonmakers, that's what she was after. Tuxedo Mask, or Kingling Darien, because he wasn't a king yet, but he was a kingling, because he would be a king one day, was in it. But the way that he was drawn, you would think that it was Kingling Eric from Disney's offshoot, A Little Mermaid. Um, there were drawings of the other sailor fighters, but beyond that, that was it. Toonmakers showed it out in 9 between 98 YL to show a bunch of folks live drawings uh, work that they never got hired to do. Yes, they were hired to do Toonmakers, to do Sailor Moon, but the deal was pulled when Toei and Toonmakers and ARE learned that it would worth way too much for any of them to do it. Now, at the end of the day, it would have been cool to see how that Sailor Moon would have played out. But I could I could dream, I could think a lot of folks would be bitching about that Sailor Moon, saying, "Man, I wish we would have gotten, Deke or Cloverway or Pioneer, whoever, to do it." Yeah, instead of them bitching about the Deke and the Pioneer offshoot of Sailor Moon, instead of them having on look for the Viz offshoot, they would have been bitching about the Toonmakers offshoot. So, at the end of the day, it was made for Fox Kids at the time, back when Fox was doing children's shows, or airing or broadcasting, streaming or broadcasting children's shows, I should say, um, until it became the Fox Box. Before that was eventually dumped altogether for kid stuff, but whatever. Before that was bought by Siobhan years later and whatever. But at the end of the day, Toonmaker Sailor Moon was this one of the unseen, untold Sailor Moon English offshoots, which at the end of the day would have been cool if someone at Toei one day pulls it out, you know, one of these days, and wants to show everybody the first following, like on a disc, a bone, whatever they call it, a outstanding thing on a disc one day. That's up to them. But as of right now, Toonmaker Sailor Moon has uh, not seen the light of day beyond some folks talking about it on YouTube, and beyond Toonmaker showing it out and 9 between 98 YL to a team of buyers who were wanting to hire Toonmakers on to handle their live drawing work. So that's the end of that. If you like that film, then follow us here at Sailor Moon for Life, or watch our last film over here. I'm Sailor Neptune Michelle. Hope you like this film. Bye.